Hi, sweetie pie. I'm going to read you the book I read you last night, only I'm going to read it again with better volume and uh, more quickly. Somebody was very tired, and the computer was too far away from the voice to be able to, for you to hear it. So here we go. What with this being October, it's important that we actually read this book so that you can hear it. From Seed to Pumpkin by Wendy Pfeffer, illustrated by James Graham Hale. The inside cover that we always like to look at, that's beautiful pumpkin plant, which I have in my garden, and you saw just a few days ago. I even have a small pumpkin growing on it, which won't go in time for this year, but who knows? It'll be, even if it's small and green, it's still pretty. Lovely picture. I love pumpkins. Pumpkin plants are, I love pumpkins, and I love how pumpkin plants. And I love the variety that you get, how you never know as it's growing, and how you get volunteers all the time. That's where you don't plant them, but because of the seeds that were in the soil, they grow, especially in the compost pile. When spring warms the earth, a farmer plants hundreds of pumpkin seeds. And see how he's doing it in, you see the darkened clumps? Unlike some things that you do in just seed, seed, seed spaced out evenly, you do pumpkins in hills. Like you do a few in each hill. That's what these are. He's hilling, he's making, loosening soil in sections. And he's going to put several in that section, as opposed to one every 4 inches or something. Every pumpkin seed can become a baby pumpkin plant. Underground, covered with dark, moist soil, the baby plants begin to grow. And here is a picture of it. You can sort of see the hill, and you can see 4 little pumpkin seeds, and they're starting to grow. And there's the earthworm making the tunnels, which we just learned about in the other book called Secrets of the Garden, that explains so well why that's helpful. As the plants get bigger, the seeds crack open. Stems sprout up. Roots dig down. Inside, the roots are tubes. Water travels up these tubes the way juice goes up a straw. In less than 2 weeks from planting time, green shoots poke up through the earth. These shoots grow into tiny seedlings. 2 leaves, called seed leaves, uncurl on each stem. They reach up toward the sun. The book we just read, Secrets of the Garden, showed 5 other plants and what their seed leaves look like. I think they actually had 6. They all start the same way, with 2 leaves opposite each other, coming up from the seed, called seed leaves. Sunlight gives these leaves energy to make food. Like us, plants need food to grow, but green plants do not eat food as we do. Their leaves make it. We learned about that in the other book too. It's called photosynthesis. Do you remember what they make it from? Take a second. Yes. Sunlight, air, water, and nutrients from the soil. To make food, oh, I didn't know they were going to do that in this book too. Plants need light, water, and air. Leaves catch the sunlight. Roots soak up rainwater. And the little openings in the leaves let air in. Using energy from the sun, the leaves mix the air with water from the soil to make sugar. This feeds the plant. What's the one thing they left out? Nutrients from the soil that comes up with the water. Each pumpkin stem, wait, did I let you see this long enough? Each pumpkin stem has many sets of tubes. 1 tube in each set takes water up from the soil so the leaves can make sugar. The other tube in each set sends food back down so the pumpkin can grow. Fascinating. Beautiful. The days grow warmer. The farmer tends the pumpkin patch to keep weeds out. Weeds take water from the soil. Pumpkin plants need that water to grow. So he's got each of these hills with the pumpkin plants, a few pumpkin plants in each one growing, and then he's taking the weeds out with his hoe so that it's just the plants that we want to grow there. Pumpkin plants don't stand up tall. As the stems grow longer, they sprawl all over the ground. Before long, twisted tangle vines cover the pumpkin patch. Yes, they do. They could be 10 feet long easily, probably longer. I have one that started in the compost pile and is at least 10 feet away from it right now, along the pathway, with giant leaves. Leaves, like the leaves might be this big. Not as big as my hands, as big as the space between my hands. As big as, like, you could get a leaf as big as this book easily. Soon flower buds appear on the vines. After each bud opens, its orange petals grow bigger and bigger. They look like bright orange umbrellas. During the heat of the day, the flowers close. They open again during the cool nights and early mornings. The bright orange flowers attract swarms of bees. The bees buzz about carrying yellow pollen from the male flowers to the female flowers. Now pumpkins can grow. Once they're fertilized, then you get the fruit of the plant, which in this case is a pumpkin. Fruit of a tomato plant is a tomato. Fruit of a green pepper plant is a pepper. Fruit of, what else is there? Everything else. Sorry, I'm yawning. Oh, that was rude. Sorry about that. Fruit of an apple tree is an apple. Okay. The petals wither away. Where the flowers bloom, tiny hard fruits begin to grow. Hundreds of these cling to the vines. They're the tendrils that we talked about last night. They attach to things and hold the vines as they grow. Lots of other plants have that. Beans have that. Cucumbers. The days grow hot. All summer, the warm sun and the cool rain help the tiny fruits grow larger, and they are growing larger. And as they grow, they're green. They don't turn orange until they begin to ripen. Like an apple, starts out green, usually turns red. So soon summer is over. The corn stalks next to the pumpkin patch turn brown. Leaves on trees turn red, orange, and yellow. Pumpkins change color too. As they ripen, they change from green to yellow, then to orange. In just 4 months, small, flat, white pumpkin seeds have grown into big, fat, orange pumpkins, which even though it happens every year, it still feels like a miracle that those little seeds that came out of last year's pumpkins would you put them in the ground, just little flat white seeds, and they turn into this. It's amazing. It's a miracle. The pumpkins are ripe and round with lumps and bumps. They come in all sizes and shapes, and they're waiting in the autumn sun. Some pumpkins will be carved into jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween. Some will be baked into pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving. Colorful leaves turn brown. Winter begins to blow. And soon the trees are bare. The farmer looks out over the pumpkin patch, where only a few dead vines remain. But when spring winds warm the earth, once again he will plant hundreds of pumpkin seeds, and once again they will grow from seed to pumpkin, just like all the vegetables that we grow in the garden. There's a robin. Do you know what that robin's trying to eat? We read about it in the last book. Yep, earthworms. Wonderful book. The end. And here's that same inside cover drawing of the pumpkin plant and the bee going to the open flower to pollinate it. And these have been pollinated, and the little pumpkins, tiny little pumpkins, are starting to swell and grow into a big pumpkin like this. But you'll get a pumpkin this year, I bet. I love you, sweetie pie. Have a great day. Bye-bye.